What up, Proflitos? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about money again, talking about Usain Bolt. Why did Usain Bolt lose 12 million US dollars? Why? Not how. In fact, a lot of videos out there have been made about how Usain Bolt lost 12 million dollars. We're not interested in how he lost it. We know how he lost it. People stole it from him. SSL stole it from him. That is a person who was on staff working at SSL at the investment firm where he invested 12 million of his $120 million fortune. Somebody there stole money from his account and from other accounts. So that is how he lost $12 million. The question is why? Why did Usain Bolt lose 12 million US dollars of his hard-earned money? And I've seen a few videos that he made showing how he earns this money. He says he works very hard for his money, and it really is painful to lose 10% of your fortune, to somebody who just has a bad mind, according to him, and stole it from him. But why did he lose it? So I'm going to give you 5 reasons why he lost it and what you can do to preserve your fortune. If you have a significant fortune, you come into some significant amount of money, millions of US dollars, then this is what you need to do to make sure you don't lose your fortune. Number 1 is you need to do due diligence. In other words, you need to research the company that you are co-opting in your investment. In other words, somebody who does investment for you needs to be a fiduciary. That means that the person needs to be making decisions in your behalf with your interest in mind by law, right? He needs to have a fiduciary responsibility to the investor. So that means that the company that Usain Bolt invested in probably had a record of mismanagement and losses. And if he had done due diligence, if he had researched this company, he would have discovered that this is probably not the best company on the block, not the best first place to invest, right? In fact, if you talk to other investors, you talk to people who invest large amounts of money, eventually you will discover who the reputable investors or investment firms are. What are the reputable investment banks? You will discover these. I'm not going to give you names, but if you want to, I'll tell you who the ones that I have discovered are reputable investment firms. But first thing is you need to do due diligence. And the reason why he lost this amount of money, $12 million, is because he did not do his due diligence. Number 2, he did not check on his investments on a regular basis. How often should you check on your investments? How often should you check on your money? The answer is every single day. Now, I used to invest in the stock market. I made some videos in which I described what my experience was in the stock market. But before the dot-com bubble burst, I opened an account with E-Trade, and I think Ameritrade at the time. In those days, you could invest directly in the stock market using online brokers, and you pay a fee of like $7.99 per trade. So I invested a small amount of money in E-Trade just before the dot-com bubble burst. So I bought all the major names. I bought Oracle, I bought Google, I bought Microsoft, and I bought a number of other stocks that were popular at the time. And I would check my investment fund every single day, sometimes several times a day, a dozen times a day, right? Sometimes 3 times in the morning before I leave for work, throughout the day, every hour, and sometimes all afternoon if the market is moving. So, and of course I would actively trade. In fact, if my stocks are falling, I would get out of them. If I see something rising, I would buy into them. And I had literally hundreds of stocks, individual stocks that I trade. But the point is that you need to be on top of your investments every single day. If you have money to invest, make sure you are on top of it all the time. I remember MC Hammer talking about how he lost his fortune. He lost what, $6 million, or however many millions he had earned from his recording days, his singing days. He was this famous singer, and then he went on Oprah and described how he lost all of his money. He had to file for bankruptcy, and he said the thing that he didn't do is he did not watch his money. And if you're not watching your money, watch out, right? So the number two reason why Usain Bolt lost his money is because he was not watching it every single day. What's the number three reason? Number three reason is he didn't do it himself. Now, not everybody has the ability to invest money themselves, but if you can do it yourself, you should. So, for example, right now you can open an account with E-Trade or Ameritrade or Fidelity, and there are these robo investment accounts where you have essentially an algorithm deciding when to trade your stocks, when to trade stocks. So you can buy and sell based on what the algorithm is telling you. In fact, you can give control to the algorithm. So the algorithm essentially does the trades for you, and they charge a very, very small fee, sometimes 0.5%, half a percent of your portfolio. So, and this is compared to 1 or 2%, which a broker charges, a person who is actively trading your stocks. So the number three reason why he lost money is because he did not do it himself. And even if you didn't do it yourself, you could have a robo investor, like an algorithm. Now these are quite popular. You can have an algorithm do the trades for you. Every time you include people in the chain, you have to give up more of your earnings, right? You have to give up 1 or 2% of your portfolio, and this is money coming off the top of your principal of your investment, even before you make any kind of gains. So that's number three reason. Number four reason is because he did not choose correct investment instruments, right? You have all these instruments. You can invest in gold, you can invest in index funds, and you can invest in individual stocks. You can invest in real estate. So there are all of these instruments that you can use to invest, instead of turning your money over, your cash over to somebody who puts it in their name. In fact, this is in fact what he did. Turned his money over to SSL and did not have total control of his money. So he needed to use instruments that are reliable and stable. If you can't watch your money every day and you can't trade every day actively, then you need to invest using instruments that are reliable. I would say index funds, they're treasury bills, there's real estate, right? And if you invest in a basket of funds, which is what an index fund is, right? It gives you a selection of some of the most stable or best performing stocks, depending on what kind of index fund you want to invest in, and it basically tracks the behavior of the average of the market over that basket of stocks, and you get a much more reliable performance. It moves the entire market. In fact, you can invest nowadays, you can invest in the entire market, right? There are instruments that allow you to invest in the entire Dow Jones Industrial Average, for example, or the NASDAQ. So he needed to invest his money with instruments that are reliable and that are safe. You know, US Treasury bills are safe, index funds are safe, gold is fairly safe. Finally, why did Usain Bolt ultimately lose $12 million? Because he gave up responsibility for his money. Turns out that apparently other members of his team were making decisions, were trading, were withdrawing funds from his accounts, right? It doesn't matter how close your team is. You have to be the number one person who makes decisions about your fund. You can't have somebody else on your team, your trainer, your manager, or whoever your friends are, moving money into and out of your account, withdrawing money from your account without telling you, right? So apparently this was his arrangement. He had other members of his team handling his money. So unless these people were on his payroll and were actually being watched closely, as MC Hammer says, if you're not watching your money, then watch out. Unless those people were legally bound to report to him regularly, he should not have allowed members of his team to handle his money. So that's it, guys. Those are my 5 reasons why I think Usain Bolt lost $12 million. Now, I hope he gets his money back. I hope the Jamaican government actually makes him whole, that investigates this, that the Securities and Exchange Commission in Jamaica actually investigates SSL, puts some people in prison, and tracks down his money and returns it to him. I don't know if that will happen. I hope it happens. I hope he gets his money back, because hard-earned money, $12 million US, from a lifetime work in track and field, it's a lot of money to lose. I hope Usain Bolt gets his money back, but this is what he needs to do in future as he earns more money. He needs to watch his money himself. That's it, guys. What do you think is the reason why Usain Bolt lost his money? In the comments below, tell me what you think about this affair. It's really embarrassing and it really is painful to watch, but there are reasons why it happened, and there are things you can do to prevent it from happening again. I hope he watches this video. Some of you who know him personally, point him to this video and let him get some advice for his future investment. Share this video with friends and family around the world. Let people know what's happening here in Georgia and Guyana. Later.